This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Rule. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, a leading company in Grand Bahamas Industrial Center represented at a mega cruise shipping event in Miami, Florida that attracts a broad range of industry players. For the first time, the local media was invited to cover this global conclave at the Miami Beach Convention Center. Sabrina Brown was there.
Cruise Shipping Miami is the epicenter of the global cruise industry and the only event guaranteed to bring together every facet of the business, including cruise lines, suppliers, travel agents, and partners. Nearly 900 exhibitors and over 11,000 people from 125 countries are attending this year's conference. The Grand Bahama Shipyard has been participating in the annual trade show for the past 15 years. CEO Carl Rotkirch says each year the ship repair facility looks forward to having a presence at this leading international exhibition.
It gives us a possibility to meet both with clients and vendors. And everybody knows Grand Bahama Shipyard. All our clients, they know us quite well and they know what we can do. But it's important to renew our relations with the important stakeholders.
Chief Operating Officer at the shipyard, Ruben Bird, says in 2014 the company pulled in $142 million in revenue, and he's projecting that number will grow to $150 million this year. He believes the annual cruise shipping trade show is vital to the shipyard's operation.
We have a lot of meetings during this with a lot of the cruise operators, planning for next year, planning for the future, for the remainder of this year, holding meetings to discuss the technical challenges that arise before us and to get all that ironed out well in advance of the vessel coming here. What we do, we meet with our vendors, we schedule, we plan and do our scheduling for the events. We work with the cruise operators to ensure that any technical challenges that they think that they may have are well addressed, and make sure that we address those again with our vendors.
The Grand Bahama Shipyard caters to the major cruise lines, and Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing and ProTech Development Robert Graham-Cowser says the event is significant as they pursue business in the UK, Northern Europe, and the Middle East.
The cruise industry equates for 40% of our business per year. So it's most important that we are here and that we see our customers and make sure they're happy, and we get a feel for what the next years ahead will bring and what we need to be doing to be prepared to accept that business.
Officials at the Grand Bahama Shipyard say this annual event is no doubt significant as they look to improve operations, attract new business, and increase revenue. At the Cruise Shipping Miami Conference in Florida, I'm Sabrina Brown for ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Sabrina. Well, the Minister for Immigration, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, dubbing the department's Abaco operation a success. Yesterday, a contingent of immigration officers, along with police and defense force officers, carried out intensive checks in Abaco after receiving reports that illegal migrants from Haiti had slipped into that Abaco community undetected. Minister Mitchell says the officers made their presence felt and the trip produced results.
The thing I like about it is that the Abaco community was widely accepting of this, welcomed the officers, except for one incident, and I understand that person has been charged for attempting or for assaulting an immigration officer or immigration officers. But the work went on, and people are headed back to Nassau shortly and will be returning at an unspecified date. I don't want people to relax for a moment, but this is going to be a long-term exercise.
Now, the operation, according to Minister Mitchell, is the first in a consistent exercise planned for the Abacos.
immigration officers moving from Nassau, and they will be there on a consistent basis for at least 30 days at a time. And their job will be to go business by business to demand records and to check employees against those records to be sure that the people who are working at these businesses are Bahamian citizens or they have work permits to be in the Bahamas. So that's coming as well. So it's both a physical exercise and an administrative exercise.
In other news, a cross-sector of the community hearing from a local parliamentarian today about the latest efforts by the government to introduce landmark legislation to govern the environment. This coming as the Keep Grand Bahama Clean Committee hosted a special forum at the Gerald Bartlett Police Headquarters. Joan Davis Roll reports.
Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Dr. Michael Davo, outlined how the government, through proposed legislation, is attempting to put more teeth in the law as relates to protecting the environment. Grand Bahama, as the industrial capital of the Bahamas, has some serious concerns, and these proposed laws will finally bring structure and regulations to this vital sector.
An act to prevent nuisances, an act to protect natural resources, an act to protect our environment and waste management, and an act to regulate pollutants, which will all allow for the protection, monitoring, and regulations of our industrial sector on Grand Bahama, and to protect thousands of Bahamian workers employed in the industrial sector, as well as the 60,000 residents on Grand Bahama who are potentially exposed to industrial hazards, toxic waste, and environmental dangers.
Though in its proposal stage, a local parliamentarian further outlined the possible impact of this landmark piece of legislation.
The implementation of these new bills will certainly be good news for the island of Grand Bahama, because for the first time from the signing of the Hawkesbury Creek Agreement and the establishment of the 1969 Environmental Act, the government and the regulator will have greater authority and legal teeth to enforce laws and execute better control of what is happening in the industrial sector and ultimately protect our environment. Thanks to the good work from the Grand Bahama Port Authority in conjunction with the government, my ministry and the Ministry of Environment, we have worked diligently to make sure these bills have been drafted. They are presently at the Attorney General office, and as a matter of fact, 2 weeks ago, me and the Minister of Environment came together to find a way to expedite them through that process and ultimately lay them in Parliament.
Minister Davo commended industry partners on Grand Bahama, as well as members of the wider community, for doing their part in keeping Grand Bahama clean, green, and pristine.
I wish to congratulate the Keep Grand Bahama Clean Committee and assure each of you of my ministry's support. I wish to encourage our youth ambassadors and other residents to continue to spread the message and to compel others to help us keep this island clean.
Joan Davis Roll, ZNS Network News.
Some residents in the Southern District are not happy with the state of the environment in that area, and so they have taken matters into their own hands. They are now looking to others in the community to show the same level of concern. Megan Shepard has their story.
A group of residents in the Southern District coming together to beautify the Hunter Cemetery. Jeanette Russell spearheaded the project after visiting the resting place of loved ones and found the condition of the cemetery unacceptable. She says this past Saturday, a number of residents came together to begin the project.
We had a turnout of about 20 persons coming from the areas of Lewishard, Hunters, Mactown, Russelltown, and Williamstown. And through our efforts, we were able to accomplish quite a bit in clearing practically an entire area that was considered site number 3.
Russell says the cemetery has been overgrown for some years now, and that community efforts are truly needed for the restoration project.
And it was compromised from the storms in 04 and 05, and where we had boulders coming up and markers. They were just damaged and misplaced and all of that. And so we want to go in there. We want to identify the resting place of our loved ones.
She adds that she is troubled by the fact that burial sites are left abandoned, noting that it will appear that loved ones buried there may have been forgotten.
Many times I look on television and I see where People are posting pictures of their loved ones in loving memory, gone too soon, never to be forgotten. But when I thought of it, I said, well, they are forgotten in the graveyard, because if they're going to put all of that emphasis on posting the pictures on television and resting places in such a deplorable state, I thought that we should more or less concentrate on where their current bodies are.
Chairman of the Pinders Point Township, Ann Russell, says while they are only responsible for the new portion of the cemetery, they decided to join the residents in cleaning the entire area.
My team and I have strategically decided that we will partner with the community and we will work until the job is done. As you've been up to the first part of it, and local government has people under the supervision of our member, Mr. Joe Russell, cleaning up that area. Our plan is to clean it up and decorate it, beautify it, and when we are done with this graveyard, we also have a cemetery in Pinders Point area. We're going down there to do the same thing.
After the completion of this project, they hope to erect a memorial wall. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us, there's more news right after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Grand Bahama community gearing up for Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival festivities that will be launched on Tino Beach on April 17th. The Grand Bahama Cultural Carnival Company has been formed to prepare for the big event. That community company, set up at the Regent Center East, will play an integral role in designing costumes for Junkanoo Carnival. Ginger Moxie is a consultant with the Cultural Carnival Committee.
We have employed Junkanooers who are right in there right now making beautiful costumes that will be for sale. Our costumes, by the way, can be worn at both events, can be worn at our beach party, because most of our costumes are the bathing suit type costume, and then they can also be worn at Road Fever in Nassau. So we like to say that our costumes are 2 for 1, so buy Grand Bahama costumes. But we're really, really excited about it. It's going to tremendously impact, we believe, the island. Hotel rooms, I know, are going to be filled. We're actually hearing that, a lot of the rooms are already gone, so if you're going to book rooms, you need to do it now.
Joanna Hanna is the project spokesperson. She says on April 17th, the 19 semi-finalists in the Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival Festival Song Competition are expected to perform. She says it is an event that will be culture at its best.
This is authentic Bahamian music being provided by original composers, entertainers. We have people hitting the stage that have never performed before, a Bahamian audience. They've never performed before in their lives. And I think Terrell Tynes Wilson is a wonderful testimony. Terrell will tell you she wrote her song for someone else to perform. And so each of the 19 artists performing, they are performing songs that they have written. They're not performing someone else's music. And so we have an original concert series happening here for 2 days, Bahamian artists. And then to top that off, we have other Bahamian favorites hitting the stage. We got T-Connection. We have Jay Mitchell. We're going to have Stelit and KB. Grand Bahama is showing its best. And and for no other reason, if you want to see a good concert, you need to buy that ticket and you need to come out to Tano Beach for those 2 days. It's going to be worth every dollar.
Well, Junkanoo Carnival Festival will take place April 17th and 18th on Tino Beach. And students on Grand Bahama getting an opportunity to tour the United States Coast Guard cutter Vigorous while docked at the Freeport Harbor. Our Kimberly Mullings went along.
On Monday, nearly 100 students on Grand Bahama Island had the opportunity to tour the U.S. Coast Guard Sea Vigorous. Vessel Commander Terry John says this initiative between the U.S. Coast Guard and the U.S. Embassy seeks to educate communities where they dock about the work of the Coast Guard.
I think it's a great experience for us as well to kind of get to know our partner nation here in the Bahamas and to show off our ship and kind of what the U.S. Coast Guard does and hopefully make some, analogies with what the Royal Bahama Defense Force does and how that hopefully those children can look at this as an opportunity for them to maybe go back and serve their nations as well.
Commander Johns hopes that the students learned something while touring the 45-year-old ship, especially responsibility.
It takes pride, it takes dedication, it takes somebody who is willing to make the best of what they have.
According to the island coordinator, Instructor Clayton Curtis, the tour was certainly a treat for the students of the Bahamas Maritime and Cadets Corps.
A lot of the instruction that we cover in the class does not afford the student the opportunity to get on board the ship and see the actual practical application of what we learn in the classroom, especially since some of them are contemplating going into the Royal Bahamas Defence Force, and this is the closest thing that we've got. So it's an excellent opportunity for them to be on board something that floats.
Reach Out Youth Ministries Director Dudley Sade hopes that the young men would someday be able to serve the Bahamas and to be as proud as the men of the U.S. Coast Guard.
I hope these guys could cherish when they have things, how to take care of it. And like I said, it's part of the mentorship program to show them, you have to have a clean record, one, if you want to go on maritime. And today was an awesome day just to have the young boys interact today with the guys who protect the waters.
Impressed by the 200-foot cutter, rolls of various seamen, and 50-cent soda machine, some students like LaRon Smith and Shamar Pinder paid very close attention and are grateful to the U.S. Coast Guard for assisting the Bahamas when and where necessary.
I feel that they protects the ocean and rescue people when their boats break down. I feel that it's a good thing that they do for the community.
I learned more about how the U.S. Coast Guard is protect God and how they protect us from all people who trying to kill us and people trying to bring in smuggling drugs in.
It is Scouts Month, and members of the Scouts organization were also invited aboard the cutter Vigorous. Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Kim. Stay with us. Ricardo Lightborn has a check on sports when we return.
Golf Association, they coordinated the Sands tournament, and for the most part, mission accomplished.
The Sands Golf Tournament is a must-play-in every year at Fortune Hills. The ladies at Fortune Hills had a blast and played a best ball format. A hole-in-one on number 8, and you win a brand new car. All compliments of Quality Auto and Insurance Management. Team Bahamian Brewery out in full force. Try as they may, the car within touching distance. Well, sad to say, no one recorded a hole-in-one on this day, and it's sad, sad news. The car goes back to Quality Auto and wait until next year. That's Ramon Taylor on the tee and trying to put in a good shot here. Terrence Bullitt had a good day. Well, at least he's at the house. John Larris trying to sink a putt. Hit him long is what he says. Otto Fountain boasting of a bogus 25 handicap. That's real, too. Osborne Cooper III is the real golfer in the Cooper's clan. OJ hope you take lessons. Team Sands and Bahamian Brewery also had a pretty good staff, and thumbs up to them all, especially CEO Jimmy Sands.
I had a full card of people, a total of I think it was about 64 people, of which they even had to turn away people from this tournament. And everybody really, really enjoyed themselves, including myself. And thanks again to the Fortune Hills staff here, and also the members here at Fortune Hills. They did a fabulous job.
The team of Robert McPhee and Brendan McCarthy won the net division. They turned in a high score of 55.2.
They had a wonderful partner in Mr. Brandon McCartney, and he gave me psychology 101. He said, just hit it long and hit it straight and be good to go.
What about you, man? How did you play out there today?
I played towards my captain. He's a hell of a player, and he came up trumps when it counted. It was really good.
Rick Pinder and Peter Collins won the gross division. The ladies' gross winners, that's Vicky Howell and Rosemary Vokes.
And the 19th ZNS Northern Service Fun Run Walk is this coming Saturday, folks, and all proceeds are going to the Grand Bahama Home for the Aged and Daycare. Administrator Agatha Thompson says the partnership comes at a perfect time, and the home is celebrating 25 years, and they're currently going through some renovations.
Oh, we are extremely appreciative that this year is our 25th. We're celebrating our 25th anniversary, and ZNS have agreed to give us the proceeds from the Fun Run and Walk, because funds have always been our challenge.
Folks from the Howley Gregory Complex, and it's going to go up on the Mall North to the police roundabout and then back down here to ZNS after you pass the Ranfully Circus. Phil Marr says he's going to walk, and he wants all you guys to support it.
I congratulate ZNS because you're doing a great job. Apart from educating and entertaining the community, you give back. You get involved and you give back, and that is really a good sign. And I really thank ZNS for thinking of us. And it's just so amazing that this year is our 25th anniversary, and we were planning a fun run and walk, but of course I'm sure you would have much more success than we would have had just doing it alone. So we invite the whole community. I've been calling everybody, all the churches, although y'all have sent them notices, I'm saying, you know, come out and support, you know, for in aid of the Grand Bahama Home for the Aged, the churches and the schools and the civic organizations and the entire community.
And I can tell you this much, the GB Port Authority as well as GB Power and also all those guys are looking to make it happen, BTC crew and everybody else. Registration is up to 7 o'clock tomorrow. Race Director Bert Bell is saying if you don't register, don't come out here Sunday morning 6 o'clock to walk because you can get run. That's a look at sports tonight.